All right, so for the start of this comparison, I want to look at the differences between the sizes and the weights of the two units. So Goal Zero's unit is going to be 5 pounds. It's going to be 7.9 inches long, 5.1 inches deep, and 5.1 inches tall. EcoFlow's River Mini Wireless is going to be 9.8 inches long, 5.5 inches deep, and 5.2 inches tall at 6.3 pounds. So a little bit larger of a unit. Both are considered in the same range of each other, so comparable, but nonetheless, the smaller unit is going to be Goal Zero's Yeti 200X. Next off, let's go into the body's makeup. All right, so with Goal Zero's, it is made of plastic, but also has an aluminum body to help disperse some of that heat. Whereas EcoFlow's product is going to be made of a plastic the entire way around. It does have a few rubber accents on it to help out with certain grip areas. Both of them have a rubberized set of 4 feet. That way it keeps it sturdy on the ground and not sliding around on you. And both of them have a handle on it. So Goal Zero's unit, the handle is on the top here. It's embedded, but it's pretty small. So that way it's easy to grab hold of. It doesn't take much effort to hang on to it. Whereas EcoFlow's product, that one's a little bit larger of a handle that you need to grab onto, but it's in the back of the unit. So the back of the unit right here has a grab handle, but you do have to grab quite a bit wider on that. So for smaller hands, that might prove to be a little bit more challenging, but nonetheless, very easy to carry around. Like I said, it's 6.3 pounds, extremely lightweight, easy to manage. But in speaking of the plastic body, it is a fingerprint magnet. It is a high gloss finish, so it seems like it was meant a little bit more for inside the home, but you're going to be able to use it wherever that you need, I'm sure. All right, next up, let's go ahead and review how to charge these things and how much power that they hold. All right, so charging on the Goal Zero product is going to be 2 ways. So you have the 8mm input right here on the back, and you have a power delivery port on the front. So the 8mm port on the back, that's going to be how you would charge both AC and solar, and a car charge adapter. That will take up to a 100 max input. The power delivery port on the front is a 60 watt power delivery port, therefore it can take 60 watts of USB charge. Can they be combined? I believe that they can, but I have no real way of knowing this because I don't have a way to tell which one it's taking power from, nor do I have a measurement reading on the screen as far as how much power input is coming into the unit. But nonetheless, you've got those 2 main ways to power it. This comes included with the AC charging brick. That's going to be this guy right here. And again, that's going to plug in from the wall into that 8mm port. Now, EcoFlow's product is a little bit different. So on the side of the unit is going to be where that you charge this one. So we have this port right here on the side, which you open up and you have 2 charging methods. So it's behind a plastic cover, so it does keep dust out of there. You have a DC input, and then you have the AC input. All right, so with the AC input, it gives you the ability to charge extremely fast. All right, DC input, it's 100 max watts input capable, but that's how you would charge the car and solar input and any other things that you might be able to run through that DC side. Whereas the plug for the wall, that's going to be just a power cord. They give you that included. All right, it comes with a nice little tie here too, so I like that. But this standard 3-prong like computer cable, plug into that, and that thing will take this charge from 0 to 100% full in just over an hour and a half. So it gets up to 250 watts in that zone of top-end power. Capacity for these guys capacity on them is going to be 187 watts. So therefore round it up to get to that Goal Zero Yeti 200X. And then this one is going to be 210 watts. So the difference of 27 watts, 23 watts actually is the difference. So that 23 watt hours of storage may be equivalent to a small smartphone's charge difference. But since you would be using these for things such as charging a smartphone, that could be a deal breaker or deal maker for you. But nonetheless, it is a small comparison, not a noticeable difference. But from what is included in the box, this will take its charge almost 4 hours to go from 0 to full with the power adapter that's included. With this one, you're going to get that cable, and like I said, it can charge from 0 to full in just over an hour and a half, but you also get included a two other cables, a vehicle power charge adapter that you can plug into your car cigarette lighter adapter and plug into that DC side, as well as MC4 cable adapter so you can charge with your wireless. Let's see. Next, let's move on to the output. So what can this thing output to? All right. So you have pretty much the same things here, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I am going to point out the differences. All right, so both of them have that car charging port, both regulated charging, so therefore you're not going to deal with the power loss as the batteries become depleted. So 12 volts regulated on both of them. Both of them are about 120 watts, 126 watts output capability. This does have Goal Zero's proprietary 6mm output. So with the 6mm output, you would be able to use things such as the Goal Zero Light of Life, but that's proprietary, and also the Light of Life does come with a vehicle charge adapter, so you could just plug it into there and /use with something like this. Both of them have USB, but here's where the differences really begin. All right, one, orientation. So you see a horizontal layout versus a vertical layout. It's a very compact right here. I do like it, but there is a drawback to it. So Goal Zero has two of the 2.4 Type A power USBs, and then one quick charge Type C and one power delivery port Type C. So it has, the types are 2A and 2C, and then total output you have 12, 18, and 60 watts capable, with one of the ports being able to put power into the device at 60 watts. Very versatile, but it's oriented in a vertical fashion instead of the standard landscape, and something like Goal Zero's own small chargers, where it takes the little USB to flip out and plug into it. If I were to try to plug this in and leave that sideways, all the weight is being left on these little tiny hinges, and that could very well break, snap, and it's extremely vulnerable. Whereas something in a horizontal layout, I'd be able to plug in, and it's actually designed to sit that way. All right, but that's the orientation layout. Over here on EcoFlow's product, you have 3 Type A USB ports and 1 Type C USB port. The 3 Type A are the old-fashioned 2.45 volts, so 12 watts maximum. And then the Type C, 1 Type C, it is a quick charge 100 watt. So a very high-powered Type C charger, capable to even charge some of the laptops that now take a Type C adapter charge on there. So as you can see, each one of these has a different design for their USB charging. Both of them give you a total of 4 ports, but I think in my opinion, the better of the two would actually be Goal Zero's, because it gives you 2 of the Type C. I don't understand why companies are continuing to put a bunch of Type A when all of our new technology that keeps coming out is Type C, but I get it that they're trying to make sure that they're versatile, and not everybody's going to be super high-end on their tech. So giving a bunch of the low-end tech editions makes it easier for those who are a little bit behind the times to adapt this type of technology. All right, next is the good old AC. All right, so with AC charging, there's a clear winner on this one. All right, so with Goal Zero, you get a 120 watt capable, 110 volt AC output modified sine, and it's 120 run and 200 watts surge. All right, so again, it's a modified sine. It does have a grounded plug, so that way you can plug in your 3-prong accessories here in the United States anyways. And it's going to be used for some very fundamental stuff, probably charging your electronics that don't have any type of motor inside there or something like that, because modified sine isn't great for your electronics. Whereas EcoFlow on the side here has 2 AC outputs, but only one shared grounded faux plug spot for the ground. So you'd have the ability to plug in 2 standard 2-prong AC plugs into it, 1 3-prong and a 2-prong, so 2 plugs there. Or if you have more than one of the 3-prong plugs, you're only going to be able to plug one in, or you could just simply get a power adapter, a surge protector, plug that in, and then have multiple outputs. But here's where the other victory is, in addition to giving an additional AC port. 300 watts run, and then it's a pure sine wave with a 600 watt maximum. Absolutely crushes goal 0 in this department. All right, so it gives you more or less 3 times the run capability, so 120 watts versus 300, and then 3 times the surge capability, 600 watts versus 200 watts. And it's a pure sine, so it's safe for all your electronics out there. There's 2 other things that you get out of this. So you get a proprietary thing called X-Boost from EcoFlow. With X-Boost, through these ports, you can run electronics. Usually it's going to be something like a coffee maker that would take up to a 600 watt run. And you're going to be able to run it at lower voltage. So it's not going to actually pump out 600 watts to the device. Instead, what it's going to do is it's going to allow that coffee maker to run off of this at a lower voltage, pushing out more amps, but still equaling only 300 watts. But it's good for products like heating element type devices, such as, once again, a coffee maker. But in a pinch, if you had to use something, you could use this, where you'd have no chance at this one. The second thing that this is going to offer is an EPS, is what EcoFlow calls it. So instead of a UPS for your computers out there, uninterrupted power supply, an EPS is going to be an emergency power supply. So the way that you would do this is leaving it plugged into the wall. You'd have your plug into the wall going into this, powering this. You'd have this turned on, and then you'd have your electronics plugged into here. And then if there were ever a power outage, this would have a 30 millisecond lapse, but then it would trigger and turn on or keep running the AC outlet, so that way your electronic component continue to run. That's going to be good for things such as non-sensitive electronics, such as not a computer, at least not in the way of a desktop, but a laptop would be perfectly fine, right? If you were running continuously a laptop, not that most people would. But the other thing that I like to think of and consider is maybe you're running home Wi-Fi and a home modem, and plugging each one into this. If you ever had a power outage and say you have battery run security cameras, such as like Arlo or something like that, if the power ever went out, this would be able to continue to run it. And even if it did turn off for a split second and then it came back on because of that 30 millisecond lag time, you would have the Wi-Fi come back on, the modem come back on, and you would have the ability to view what's going on in your home if there were a power outage. Or say you have a security system set up to it to where the security system can also run off of battery backup for a little bit of time. But another capability that really sets this apart and ahead. All right, so that gives you a breakdown of the power, the ways that you can use it for the fundamentals. Now, there's one bonus for power on the EcoFlow, hence the name wireless, and that's this part. So on the top, it is a wireless charger for Qi compatible wireless charging devices, such as a smartphone. Okay, so you'd be able to place a smartphone on there, begin wireless charging, and through that, you don't have to use one of these ports, and simplicity wise, you don't need any cabling, so you could just set it on top there, so it actually has a very clean aesthetic look to it. So yet again, another unique fundamental capability of this compared. Last is app. And I'm able to see my electronics. So this is the River Mini. It's not currently taking charge, it's not currently getting a charge, but it shows the current charge level. And if I do turn something on, or if I want to turn it on remotely, I can actually click this button on the smartphone app, or in my case the iPad app, and you'll see here in a second this is going to turn on. Okay, you're going to see that turn on, and there you go. So it just powered on, and you can power that back off. And it allows you that remote management, so you can see charging capabilities, power output, and so on. So like right now I'm running my studio lights off of my River Pro, and I can see total output of those lights is 262 watts, and it gives me that feedback through the application here. All right, now without an app, how can you see what's going on with your devices? Well, that brings us to the last part that I'd like to put out as a clear, distinct difference between these two units. So with Goal Zero's Yeti 200X, you've got a very fundamental design. You have a charge percentage remaining, and you'll have a blue blinking light when it's taking a charge. And that'll come on whether you're charging through the 8mm port in the back or you're charging through that USB Type-C. It simply goes down or goes up. As simple as that. There is a thermal indicator on there and a fault indicator, I believe, but extremely fundamental, extremely basic. Whereas EcoFlow's unit, you have a system to where you're going to be able to see a lot more information on your display, and a couple of components of the information there, I'm going to break this down, can be very beneficial to your daily usage. So for starters, you're going to have the ability to see how much time you have left to run whatever appliance that you're using with this. You don't have that functionality over there. You have the same percentage readout, but you also have perhaps a distance readout indicator, such as that ring of circle right here. Each one of these is going to be about 20%, so 20, 40, 60, 80, 100% charge, letting you know from maybe a distance how much charge you have left from a quick glance, but it has the percentage on there too. You have your output wattage and input wattage, showing you both what's coming in and going out at the same time. And then lastly, you also have indication of what's on. So here I just clicked on the 12 volt on, and it says car. Click on the USB, it'll say USB, and then it'll also give you a wireless charge indication at the top. Go ahead and set my phone on top so you can see it begin to charge, and it should start showing you a readout of how much wattage is coming out of there. All right, and then lastly, it'll also let you know whether or not you're connected to Wi-Fi, because that Wi-Fi signal at the top of there will stay steady on, or it'll be blinking. So you have a ton of capabilities on this unit. All right, is there a difference in cost? Yes, there is. All right, so the two units differentiate by $100 for retail. So this retails for $299 for Goal Zero's Yeti 200X. This one retails for $399. However, this is the way that I always see it with EcoFlow. EcoFlow is always having a sale. And you can go to their website, and if you don't see a sale today, you'll probably see one tomorrow. Today is April 1st, 2022, as I'm recording this video. And this unit retail price is $399. It is currently on sale on their website for $299. And it's also on sale on Amazon's website at the same time too. So you could get both of these for the exact same cost. Goal Zero's product doesn't go on sale as frequently, so you would have to monitor that a little bit more closely and hopefully catch a deal if it comes up for your use needs. All right, included in the box, again, I told you there was a differentiation there of cables that are included. That's only going to be the wireless edition that comes together with that car charger adapter and those the solar charging cables. If you got the non-wireless edition, it is a little bit less, so you could still get that same capacity of 210 watt hours versus that 187 for $349 minus whatever sales price that you get. but something else to also consider in there. All right, so where would I put my money? I own both of these. Nobody gave me these. And I bought this one first because that was what was first available, and I really do enjoy the size of this unit right here, and I do enjoy that it's very durable. I like design-wise that it's made of aluminum and not a fingerprint magnet such as EcoFlow's unit. So I might see about getting some vinyl or something like that and putting it on top of this to decorate it and slash get those fingerprints off of there. But in the end, I'm probably going to keep this unit right here because it charges super fast. It gives so much versatility. It has pure sine wave, so I don't have to worry about my electronics that I'm plugging into it. It offers as an EPS, that emergency power supply. It gives a stronger charging output. And there was one other thing with the charging output that I didn't really speak to. I have Goal Zero's Venture 75 here. And with the Venture 75, it offers a 60-watt power delivery port. This unit right here is charged up at 100%, and so is this. But if I wanted to charge this unit, and this unit was at, let's say, 80% full, and this unit was at 60% full, with that power delivery port, if I plug that in, USB Type-C to USB Type-C, this, because it has a higher percentage charge, will begin to charge this. You don't get to control that flow of power, that flow of energy. And that's one of the drawbacks of the power delivery port, where it's not a controlled power delivery port. But still, I would be able to just plug into that 18-watt quick charge, and this does give that additional USB port, but I would like that 100-watt output. I think both of these missed a little bit on the Type-C charging, but they both have their value in each way. If I were grunting it, and I didn't need all the perks, bells, and whistles, and then I wanted the smaller size and smaller weight, obviously the Goal Zero is the way to go. And Goal Zero has a lot of reputation around them. Although recent releases with their X line has had a ton of problems, to include myself, where I had the Yeti 500X, I would still rate them as very highly dependable. And this 200 has been one of the most dependable that I've had. So I really like it. But again, final value for my money, I'm going to go with the EcoFlow wireless. It just gives me too many options. It charges super fast. It charges DC-wise at the same rate as this one, 100 watts maximum. I have over-paneled this with 2 solar panels at 100 watts apiece. It'll max out at 100. On this one, I can't tell unless I had some sort of a indicator showing the power going into it, but I still wouldn't be able to tell what this is actually taking just because of that super simplistic display. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you can find some value in what we've covered today. I will do maybe more of a showing of each one of the units, of their versatility, in a separate video, because this is already crazy long as it is, but that's the way I make my videos, is longer. If you like the video, please subscribe. Give me some feedback. Which one would you purchase? I would say if you're going to compare this, give me the idea of what you would purchase if it was $3.99 versus $2.99, and obviously if it's $2.99 a piece, some of you probably will still want the Goal Zero Yeti 200X because of the dimensions and the weight. And believe it or not, even this carry handle can sometimes be the difference. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you. Hope you have a great day, and until next time, take care. Bye.